Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel.
Ain't nobody realer. Sex is like a drug.
Okay, so I just got back from a date basically, and it was a pretty good one. Maybe it'll be a story time. Honestly, I'm hoping it won't be, because if it's a story time, that means it didn't go well. But anyways, I decided that I'm like all dressed up, and I was like, why not just use the opportunity and film. I will be eating popcorn during this and drinking, because I was like, why not have like a chat with girlfriends? Like, I recalled this time today before I went out, and I was like, I want to tell this story. The problem with telling this story is that I feel like he watches my videos. So if you do and you watch this video, what's up? Anyways, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I went out with my Uber driver. I know. Everyone has one of those stories, I feel like, and so here's mine. So this happened, I met him, I would say, last year. Wow, yeah. So I met him last year in around like November, October. As he's like driving me home from work, we start like chit-chatting and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't really like to talk to like my Uber drivers. Like, that sounds kind of like stuck up, but it's more so I don't like to talk to them, because I am usually just like trying to like listen to music or whatever while like you're taking me home. And I don't like to, when people ask me so many questions, like, I don't know you, so you know where I live, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I just think it's like a breach of like confidentiality. And so I just like to keep it as like, you're just this because you know where I live. That's like such valuable information, and I don't want to get to know you or you to get to know me or whatever, because like you could always come back to my house. I don't know, I'm weird. But anyways, so he starts talking to me, and I guess this day I was like particularly chatty, and so he's asking me all these questions, and I, for some reason, like I said, I'm answering them, like, and I usually would like lie, which I think I did lie and said, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to my friend's house, because I, again, like, valuable information. So you're my friend's house. My house is my friend's house to these people. We're talking, and then we started getting into the fact that like he was basically like an entrepreneur, and he started his own construction company or something like that. And I was like, oh wow. And he's like, yeah. And then he ends up telling me that he is like recently divorced, and I was like, okay, cool, okay. And from what I could see from him, like, he did not look old enough to be divorced, you know? And so I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, like, I need to set my game up, because like your girl hasn't even like been engaged yet, and this one who looks like he's younger than me has been married, like done been it, like done did it, done marriage, like, geez, genuinely shocked. And he's like, yeah, how old do you think I am? And I'm like, like, let me see. I don't know, it fell down my shirt. I'm like, okay, turn on, like, look at me, let me see. And he tells me, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, I would say you're probably about like 25. And he's like, I'm 23. And I was like, no shade, no tea. I would never get married when I was 23. When I was 23 and what I know now, oh my god, hell no. Hell no. I'm sorry, like, no shade, no tea. If it worked out for you, honestly, congrats. Nope, never. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then he goes into telling me about like why they were divorced, like how their marriage was, and all these different things. And I was like, oh wow. So then we end up getting to my house, and he's still talking. We're just literally talking, and he was talking about how like being an entrepreneur is like so important, and like getting money, and like being able to buy the things that you want, and how he's just so passionate about all this stuff, and about like investing in yourself and all these different things. I want to be able to retire when I'm 30, and that is my goal. I don't care about dating. I don't care about this. I don't care about drinking. I don't care about having fun right now. Like, it's work. Like, I'm working towards my goal. And honestly, I found that attractive. Not that I was even looking at him in that way, but I just found that attractive, like, as a human being, to be so passionate and just be like, this is my goal, and I'm gonna reach it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone wants to do. No one's getting in the way of that, and I like that. So then I was like telling him, like, yeah, like, I'm kind of starting like my own like entrepreneurial journey, and like my plans and stuff like that for like YouTube and everything like that. And he was like, oh wow. And he was like, well, you know what, let me subscribe. And I was like, are you being serious? And he's like, yeah. And I honestly was just like, wow. Okay, sure. So then he subscribed to me, whatever, because I told him my channel. And he's like, yeah, like, I'm a supporter for anyone who wants to start, like, their own business. I'm a supporter for, and I was just like, I don't meet people like that. And it was just, I loved it. And another thing, too, was I have friends that I think, honestly, aren't even subscribed to me. And I, obviously, like, they know about my YouTube and anything like that. And they're not subscribed to me. And I have this stranger here who's basically, like, helping me, like, pursue my dreams, but I don't have my friends helping me. Like, it just became, like, a very, like, sentimental moment for me. A mini one anyways, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this guy is cool. 2 days later, I get a notification on my Instagram that this person followed me, and so I'm like, okay, who's that? I get, like, a lot of people that, like, follow me, like, basically on, like, a weekly basis, but for some reason I was like, okay, who's that? And so then I went to the page, and it was him, and I was like, oh, wow, and he DM'd me. And I was like, how did you get my Instagram? He's like, well, I watched your videos, and it's at the end. Again, I've just never had anybody, like, I have family, like, I have, like, my close family, my close friend don't watch my videos, and he's like, I watched your video. I liked this video was fun. Just, again, like, taken aback. Let's fast forward. Near Valentine's Day. And at this point, I was obviously single to do, like, my photo shoots for Valentine's Day. Like, I always do, and, like, planning it out and everything like that, and, like, starting to, like, post them, whatever. And so then he's, like, talking to me, and did I have, like, semi-plans? I don't even remember. That's so terrible. Probably not. Like, what did I do for Valentine's Day? I think I hung out with my friend. Yeah, I did. I hung out with my best friend. Anyways, so I was, like, you know, doing a lot of, like, promotional, like, stuff, whatever, for Valentine's Day. And so then he started to DM me again, and he was, why don't you and I go out? And the thing about this is that he is a different ethnicity to me. And so I was really skeptical because I was kind of thinking, like, I really don't like to waste my time. And I am not the type of bitch that's like, oh, let's just have fun right now. I'm really not that type of person. I wish I could be, but I'm always the type of person that, like, thinks about the domino effect. Like, how would this decision affect my future? In the sense of, like, having people, or, like, especially guys, like, in my life. So I'm not the type of person that will just go on a date with somebody if I don't even like their company, or I don't care about them, or we don't click. I'm not going to just waste my time. So I was like, what is the point in us, like, hanging out, or, like, even going on a date? Because he wanted to take me on a date, like, a genuine date. What is the point of that if we couldn't ever, like, even, like, date, or even, honestly, like, I just thought, like, being friends even. So basically, like, ghosted him. I was just like, I'm not gonna reply because, like, that's so stupid. And so then, like, let's fast forward again. Him and I started talking again, and he was like, oh, like, we should hang out. And at that point, I think I was like, you know what? This dude keeps hitting me up. Why not just, like, go out and have fun? Like, who cares? So we ended up hanging out. And then after that, like, he would, like, call me all the time, and we would, like, FaceTime all the time and everything like that. And I again, like, was just thinking, like, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? It's always good to have another friend. Again, like, I thought he was very, like, inspirational, so, like, why not have that in your life type of thing. But then he was kind of talking to me on the basis of dating, and he was, like, more serious than I was about dating. Like, he was just thinking, like, he was basically like, I'm looking for my next wife, etc., etc. And I'm thinking, like, why are you talking to me about that? Like, I could never be your wife. So really, like, how could I ever be your wife? Basically, it was what I was thinking. So I kind of just, like, let it bypass. And so we ended up going out for, like, coffee and just, like, sitting and talking, which, honestly, I am the cheapest date ever. I will sit there and we could just go on a drive and just, like, get McDonald's fries and, like, just drive and talk. So we did for the first time we hung out after, like, our Uber ride. And it was, like, cool or whatever. And then, like I said, we started FaceTiming and everything like that. And the second time we hung out. So, the second time we hung out, we actually had a blackout on my street, which is funny. And he ended up picking me up. And so then we were, like, talking about different things that were going on, like, about, like, my work and stuff like that, and then about his. Because he actually was, like, he had to drive, like, I think, like, an hour or two to, like, come and see me. And so he was like talking about like his work for why he had to like move for like a minute, and then he like basically has a breakup talk with me, and I'm sitting here thinking like, when were we together? I missed that part. I'm sorry, but me and you, we're just not gonna work. See, my family wants me to marry somebody else. They found me a girl, and we're going to proceed with things. Okay. I have something to say. I'm curious as to how we were ever going to work, number one. Number two, you can't really be breaking up with me right now because we were never a thing. Number three. Huh? You guys, I was genuinely I was so confused. What do you mean this isn't gonna work? What is this? I met you as my Uber driver, number one. We hung out one time prior to this last week. I didn't think that we were anything because, you know, I thought that we were like too different, like ethnicity wise. Like I didn't think that in your culture like I'd be accepted anyway, so I never took you as anything other than like my friend or like someone to talk to for the moment. Like that was as far as I saw things. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like hurt you. And he was just like, what do you mean? And I explained myself more because I don't know how you didn't get what the fuck I was saying. And he was like, my family doesn't care about race. And okay, I wish you told me that you felt that way because then I would have been able to clear up the insecurities that you're having about that. And I never brought it up because it was never going to be an issue. You guys, before me and him hung out, I was at work sitting with my friend asking her like, oh, this guy's such a nice guy and, you know, like I find him inspiring and da-da-da. But like, I'm not super like attracted to him enough to even like him enough. And I know like looks aren't everything. It wasn't even just solely about looks. It was just, I can't even joke around with him, and like we had a good time. We had like good FaceTimes and stuff like that, and like obviously we continued doing it, but it was more so just like, thank you for making me feel like not 100% single and making me just feel like 90%. You know what I'm saying? Like that was as far as it went. So I have no idea what he was talking about. Like, and so after that, he ends up driving me home, and he asks me if we should still keep each other on Instagram. And I was like, dude, you're the one that's about to get married. That's completely up to you. I don't care. And I didn't care I honestly followed him back out of respect, but because I know him, but I didn't want to. Like, it's not like I care about his posts. Like, I really don't really care about like men's posts unless they're super hot. But that's basically freaking it. So I was just like, do your thing. And so he's like, okay, well, you know, take care. Like, I hope that, you know, you don't like block me. And I was like, bye, have a good wedding. And that was that. So I got home and I like unfollowed him and blocked him because I was like, you don't need to be seeing my shit. I don't want you to be liking my shit. And it's not even like I have hard feelings, but it's just like for the sake of yourself, like you basically, he was telling me that he still had like feelings for me and he like liked me, but he like couldn't obviously because his family found him the girl. So I'm a temptation to you. So yeah, that's it for dating my Uber driver. Have you ever gone out with someone twice and they broke up with you because they're about to get married? If you have, let me know down in the comments. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.